Welcome back, everybody, to the show. We're here today on the Integrative Health Coach Success Podcast. Excited to have you here. Episode 242. If you want to check out the 3 big takeaways and all the links to the previous pertinent shows, head on over to ihp.coach/242 for all the details. Today, we're going to be talking about the busyness trap. It's something that I don't think most of us like to think about, myself included. I think most of us are extremely busy during the day. What does that mean? It means that you have very little free time to yourself. Maybe you're working on your morning power of hour, like I talk about there in the morning. You get a little time to yourself, maybe a little bit at night. But what happened? Well, let's condense that. You're in bed for, let's say, 8 hours. You're up for 16 hours, maybe getting an hour in the morning, maybe an hour at night. Okay, what do we have left? 14 hours. What happened to that 14 hours? What happened to that main part of the day? And so what I would say is if you look back in your day, you're probably pretty busy. Most days. When I look at the weekends, I'm like, I'm not as busy. But that's by design, right? On Saturday and Sunday, it's my daughter's time. It's a finite period in my life that I get to have 2 young daughters, and I want to make sure that I'm always there, that I'm always present, that I'm available for them. But Monday through Friday, they're in school, and I'm at work, and it's busy time, right? Here's the problem, though. When we look back on the day, and when we look back on the quarter, if you're following my 12-week year, or you look back on the year, you're like, oh, that was busy, right? That was a really busy year. But why is it then, if it's so busy, that when we look at our goals, we haven't achieved what we wanted to achieve? So we have to ask ourselves, was it the goal? Was the goal just too big? Or was it an achievable goal, but for whatever reason, as busy as you were, you didn't actually hit it? And if you didn't hit it, why was that? Was it that you didn't, again, you check out the episode on the SWOT analysis of the business and all those great things that you can set up. We'll link up those today at episode 242. So were you working on the wrong things? Or were you so busy being busy that you didn't stop to look at and maybe recalibrate what absolutely, positively needed to get done in order to achieve those goals? Let me give you an example. So we're just finishing up our business mentorship experience. It's a 6-month course, runs from January, typically, through June. And we've done it now. This is our 2nd year. And I let people know, we're going to take you step by step through this every 2 weeks, opening up a new module, and it's step by step that you can follow through this. And by the end of that 6 months, you should have your business up and running. And if you already have a business, how to take that business to the next level. And so each month, no chastising, that's not the type of person I am. I want to hold people accountable. I say, how many people completed setting up their social media account, right? Just pick one. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever you want to do, just pick one. How many? Okay. Well, I'll get 2/3 of the people. Good. Okay. For the rest of everybody, let's get that going. How many now set up their, website URL? Got the name of their website and set up a professional email. Okay. We get the same number of hands. How many people have now set up their website? A little less hands. How many people have done now their automated scheduling and their automated bill pay? Less. How many people have implemented their email templates? How many people now have gone out and started putting together their first few social media posts using the simple template we have for 20 minutes a day? And it's less and less. So when I start to ask people, again, because there's no judgment, what's holding you back? You have all the steps. We don't want to make this super complicated. We want to allow you to just grow with it as much as you want. But if you're not working on those things, what are you working on? And some people will honestly say this, well, I've got to wait for the photographer to come to do my photos for the website. And then that's just delaying this. And I didn't want to post yet to social media because, I don't have my website set up. And we're just letting people know your iPhone or whatever phone you use has crystal clear images that are going to work perfectly fine for right now for your website to get it going. Because you only get to move forward with done, right? You're not going to put up your first social media post and have 100 new clients, right? That's not how it works. You're not going to even launch your website and immediately have 1,000 new people there, right? So we have time to improve all of these. We call it iterating. Next iteration, it's even better. Next iteration, even better. Great. But what we need to do is move forward with getting it done. Well, people are like, but I am doing things. So let me take this to another level as well. I've got a few amazing mentorship coaching clients that I have that all run their own health-based businesses. And my job is to keep them accountable. That's like one of the main things that I do. Yes, help them. I provide strategy. I help them work through high-level questions. I've been there where they are right now, and I want to help them just save them time, money, all the different things like stress, all the different things that someone who's done it 10 years ago, and I hire people, my team, 20 years older than me or more, so that they can give me that experience. Like I look to that myself. And I say to them, listen, I know how busy you are. Why haven't you done this, this, and this? And they say, oh, I got in the way, this happened. I say, I get it. What I don't want to have happen, though, is for us to have a call in a month from now and be now 160 days delayed as to making this happen. Because we both know that these little linchpins, these keys that we're talking about, because there aren't a lot, right? Like, what do you need to actually create a business? Well, you need to have people know about you. That's for the most part, it's free. It's social media. You can do other things as well, but that's one. Then you need to drive them somewhere, right? Maybe typically it's a website. Then you need to make it really easy for them to set up a free consultation. And that's typically your online scheduling. So like those are at least 3 essentials. And if we don't have those, we don't need to worry too much about a fancy logo or fancy, like the things that are holding people back. So what I try to do is I just try to say, all of the things that you're thinking about are important. I'm not saying they're not. But what are the things that ultimately move the needle? Write those down. And I'll tell you right now, it shouldn't be more than 3 to 5 maximum. Because all the other stuff is most likely busy work that honestly you don't really need to be doing. Even inside of business mentorship experience, we teach people how to build their own website, right? Software to use, all that. But if you're able to, so much easier for you to be a health coach or whatever your profession is and have someone else build it. Honestly, so much easier. That's a big part of it. The other part is that when you look at the list, and we've talked about this before, and I'm gonna link back to episode 208 for this podcast as well. Our team, who's amazing, will help link this up. Is that you need to start looking at yourself as an executive in your business. You do all of the absolute highest level, most important tasks that need to be done by you. You need to read over your own labs or your client program designs, whatever they are. You're doing your consultations, right? You're creating your programs and protocols. You're doing your follow-ups. Do you need to schedule? No. Do you need to, you have to write your own social media posts? Yes, but do you even need to schedule those? Well, maybe someone else does it. You can do it, certainly, but like probably not. Do you need to provide, basic customer email support? Probably not. Like if it's just registration or forms or whatever it is, like there's a lot of things that you don't necessarily need to do. Now in the beginning, yeah, you're probably doing those, but only because you have time. But you need to start looking at yourself as you have a finite period of time. You need to get done what needs to get done. So if there are those 3 to 5 things in your list, you have to say to yourself, and I used to do this, put a time besides how long that thing takes. Okay, I have to build a website. Think about how much time that's going to take. You don't know how to build a website. How long does that take? If you have to write an infinity symbol because you don't know, probably, if possible, should delegate that. Now, if you're like, oh, I have to write a social media post. How long? 20 to 30 minutes? All right, put the more conservative time. Good, 30 minutes. Good, got that done. Oh, I have to do a consultation today. Okay, 60 minutes. Maybe put 90. You need a 30-minute prep for that. Okay, good. Now you have other stuff on the list like, oh, I need to go to the bank. And maybe. But like those are not on the first half of the day. You should get done what you need to get done that will move you and your business and career forward. It's the only thing that's going to help other people. It's the only thing that's going to get other people towards their goals. And if other people aren't getting towards their goals, you don't really have a career, a business. You're not going to get the referrals that you want. And this is also extremely important. I want to start to move and close with this, is that if you want to also build a business that's even bigger than you, that can scale, if you're not able to now, at this moment, begin to see what the most important items are on the to-do list, it's going to be difficult for you to be able to strategize and coach your team members because they're going to be busy as well. But what are they busy working on, right? A task could take 2 hours if scattered in a bunch of different directions. But if you're laying out a schedule for your team, like we talk about in BME, and BME is not open, so I'm not trying to like recommend that or share that with anybody right now. But the day should be scheduled from, 8 to 8:30, might be dropping the kids off, might be getting to work, like whatever it might be. Okay, 8:30 to 9 is what? It is answering team or follow-up questions if that's what you want to do. 9 to 9:30 is writing your social media post. Okay, 9:30 to 10 might be posting social media, and we have it much more simplified than this, so I'm not going to start to go through the whole thing because this is actually more complicated, and answering direct messages and setting up free consultations, right? Like, that's it. Okay. Then from this time to this time, you're prepping for your client consultations. Then you're doing your client, like, it's laid out. And I have a Cabral concept podcast, and let's like throw out the to-do lists. We'll link up that as well. We'll link that up at ihp.coach/242. I tell people all the time, especially my mentorship clients, throw out your to-do lists. Schedule everything. If it doesn't fit on your schedule, you can't do it. It's just wishful thinking. Something has to go, right? So schedule everything. My iCal looks like Lego blocks all over the place. I have standing meetings. I have standing consultation times. I have my IHP Q&A days. Like, everything is laid out. And then I have to record, not have to, I get to, and I choose to record 8 podcasts per week. 7 for the Cabral concept and 1 for the Integrative Health Coach Success podcast. I like doing it. I enjoy doing it. But when I look at that, that's an average of about an hour and a half a day. Okay, that's what it comes out to be. And so when we look at the math on it, that's 5 days a week. Yeah, that's about right. Maybe just a little bit more. Let's err on the side of conservative because I do have to put my topics together, those types of things. So let's say 2, yeah, that's about, no, it's about right. An hour and a half to maybe 2 hours a day. That has to be scheduled, right? So for me, I know every day when I'm scheduling or when I'm completing those. And if anything bumps into that time, I get a little frustrated because I know that my schedule is scheduled. So now something else has to get bumped in order to get that, in order to fit in those podcasts. So what I want you to do is schedule your days. If you schedule your days, your weeks take care of themselves. If your weeks are done, quarters look great. If your quarters look great, by the end of the year, you've accomplished so much more than you ever thought possible. So let's get away from being busy and saying, oh, I'm so busy, and instead saying, I'm being productive. Hopefully today's show was helpful. All the show notes and links, previous podcasts are at ihp.coach/242. Hopefully the show was helpful. Again, share it with somebody else you believe could serve. Take care, everybody.